Hello, everyone, and welcome back. If you would be so kind as to like and subscribe, I would sincerely appreciate the help for the channel. So today's topic is the one that got away. And I don't necessarily mean just relationships. It can take a variety of forms. It can be jobs, it can be friendships, it can be all manners of things in your life. And I had a recent video about regret and regretting things you've done or things that you have not done or you wish you would have done. So I guess this is in the same vein, but the one that got away. So there are two instances. No, that isn't a smoke detector, it's my timer. I've got some red meat in the oven, so I don't want it to overcook, so we're gonna have to check that. And while we do that, so I'd like to start by talking about relationships. So when I was in graduate school, which was not that long ago, believe it or not, although at this point, I want to say, 26 years ago. So I was in grad school from 1998 to the year 2000. So wasn't that long ago, but it wasn't yesterday either. So I was in grad school and I was married. So I had been married 6 years at that point and was faithful to my wife, even though that relationship was pretty much dead. But at any rate, and I don't know whether she was faithful or not, but I was. So I was in grad school, and I think it was my first year. I sat across from a young lady who was, I think, attractive in the very classical sense. She was a little on the short side, had a great body, had these beautiful big brown doe-like eyes, and had this awesome hair, just like a big tangle of curly hair. And she was kind of mixed lineage, French and Italian and some other things, and was, pretty girl. Pretty to me. Didn't wear a lot of makeup, but, used to wear tight jeans and, she sat right across from me and we hit it off right from the get-go. We sat across from one another at lab tables in the program I was in, and I was fond of her right away. And I got the feeling that she was too, but it was hard to tell. And of course I was married. So, never really acted on it from the start. But so as the year progressed, I started hanging out with another girl from a different program altogether. And she was in not a PhD program. She was in a master's program, but eventually ended up getting her PhD. Very nice young lady. Her father was a big shot in a neighboring New England state. He was high up in the government, and she was attractive too. She was kind of a hippie chick. She'd just gotten out of a bad relationship, and we started to hang out. This was in downtown Providence, so we'd go out and we'd hang out, and we'd close some of the places in Providence. And we hit it off, and you could tell that the attraction between the two of us was growing. We'd talk for hours and stuff. Of course, I'd get home late, and my first ex was fine with that because she didn't suspect anything, and really nothing happened. It could have, but nothing did. And meanwhile, the first young lady from my graduate program, she got involved with one of our classmates, And they kind of slipped into some kind of a weird codependent relationship. He was actually older than me, even though I was older than most of the other class. He was like the one person, well, no, there were a couple people in the program who were actually older than me. He was one of them. And, very quickly slipped into that kind of domesticated, they started living together and stuff. And so anyway, so any thought I had of having a relationship with her quickly ceased. I mean, even if my marriage would have ended or whatever. The other girl, I think at some point, she realized that I was going to stay married and wasn't going to really act on that. I was smack in the middle of grad school, so I wasn't going to just leave my marriage and kind of blow up my entire life at that point. But anyway, just two instances of the one that got away. And I would say one more than the other, but still. Where jobs are concerned. So I've talked previously about job opportunities I've had. One of them being working for a relatively large city in the Northeast, and working in that, in that capacity for them, and didn't take it because of my second ex, who decided that she didn't want to be alone, had made a bunch of very poor decisions for us and kind of tied up all my money. That almost ended in disaster because, quite frankly, I was within spitting distance of having to declare bankruptcy. So as a result of that, and that job would have really pulled my ass out of the fire, and it looked like a really interesting job, and I was actually kind of looking forward to it. But so that's another one. I had talked previously about getting a full ride to Ohio State University graduate programs and a stipend and the whole 9 yards, an assistantship. And my first ex talked me out of that. So I think that really would have set me up. So that's another one that got away. There was a young lady that I had a relationship with when I was working in the Northeast, and we just really hit it off. And she was just a little too immature. I think we could have probably have made it work, but there was another one that got away. So then there was another job opportunity I had, working for a very successful technology company, and had the opportunity to kind of move up there, but decided that I would rather go to grad school instead, which never panned out anyway, not those initial graduate programs. So there was then that company got to be very successful, got bought out a couple of times. So that was another one that got away. So you're starting to get the idea now, and I don't want to belabor the point, but there were a lot of these instances in my life where I kind of in the back of my mind knew that I was making a mistake by walking away from these scenarios that really would have benefited me in many ways. But the fact of the matter is, you decide that other things are more important, or you decide that, maybe it's not worth the risk. And frankly, I think too often, men in particular, because we're rational creatures, we make decisions for the wrong reasons. And we kind of miss the boat on maybe taking a chance, taking a plunge, especially if you're a cautious person. I'm a little bit on the cautious side, maybe overly cautious. So anyway, I don't want to belabor the point. I just wanted to put that down. Hopefully you all out there will not have too many examples of the one that got away, although I'm sure that you could share some in the comments. I would love to hear some examples. And please, again, if you could like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. I will see you all down the road.